What's going on, everyone? 2 here. Recently I've been enjoying myself some Snowbreak Containment Zone, checking out their models in Blender and even enjoying it in-game as well. Now Snowbreak is a unique 3D waifu shooter RPG that has some serious aesthetic appeal and of course, some great character modeling. One thing that particularly stands out to me are their wide variety of face types that go well with each character's personality and makes them distinct from each other. They also have this really clean and crisp finish about them, and when I dove into it on the mesh level, I was pleasantly surprised not only by the craftsmanship, but even some technical things where I thought, hold on, this is genius. Why am I not implementing this already in my own models? And even more good news is that none of this masterful 3D modeling goes to waste. Because those familiar with this game know that they actually let you see the characters up close and personal. You can go visit their rooms and even have these like full interactive scenes with them, where you'll be able to appreciate every inch and effectiveness of the modeling techniques in close proximity. Like this video call I'm having with Bubu as she keeps me company while I'm doing my editing. And don't worry, she gave me permission.
Feel free to handle work while we're on the call, Adjutant.
And that puts more into context why these models in particular have to be so meticulous and have higher mesh detail on average in certain areas. One thing that also has me flabbergasted is just the sheer amount of skins this game has. It's to the point where some individual characters in this game have more skins for that one character than other games do in total, which is kind of wild considering this is a 3D game, which is a testament to the effort they put for their cosmetics. Now let's dive into some analysis. When I opened these up in Blender, it's safe to say that I was not disappointed. I was impressed by both the anatomical and the technical details. Where do I even start? So this is Bubu Specular Soul, huh? I mean, wow. You gotta be careful when dual wielding those things. I really like the shading / color grading in this game. It makes the colors pop. Just look at the saturation and the texture on that skirt. Oh, and check out those view angle highlights on her bangs, as well as the back bottom part of her hair. That's so cool. Usually you don't see the highlights on the bottom half of it. I love her face too. She's got the :3 going on. Wait, look at this one too. These white to red gradient girlies always doing something to me, man. I don't know what it is. Look at this. This is such a crazy detail. You can see her feet like poking through her shoes, through that semi-transparent shoe material. I bet they cut those crosshatches into the mesh. This game's designs are heavily underrated. I like her twin bun tails. So cute. Moving on to the Blender analysis, the first thing that caught my eye was this immaculate leg anatomy. Just look at that. Big legs enjoyer here. It's just so refreshing to see all of the leg contours coming into place where it nearly touches at the thighs, just barely missing. You got that classic blood circulation constrictor, this ever so slight inward curve before the knee. You got this slight bump and change in angle, having the calf bow inwards very slightly and then tapering down gently into the ankles. And then on the outer leg we got this smooth roller coaster ride. Good leg anatomy is always appreciated because it takes knowledge and skills to get those ever so subtle curves done correctly. The difficulty is not so much in the structure of the legs, which are fairly simple mesh-wise, but the attention to detail and all those very slight curves with very small margins of error to make it look as graceful as this. On the technical side, take a look at these kneecaps, which receive increased definition on the kneecap area, and take note how they did their density changes. They're applying a 3-2, so like it goes from 3 vertices down to 2 here, and the advantage of this is the overall rectangular flow is never interrupted, which is why it looks so tidy visually. But even more important is that you don't have to tweak the form any further because you don't have to move anything, you just have to make cuts. This can all be done after the modeling and sculpting purely by cutting and not moving anything, because again, you're keeping the rectangular form and you're just doing something like this. And all of the straight rectangular flows remain. Look at this merge down here as well at the corner of the patella, and you'll find that this specific artist, they have a deep bag for these transition techniques and they know the exact situations to use them in. I also like how they did their base texturing, very smooth. Their design choice was no real hard, like dark outlines, just mostly smooth gradients, and it's good for the style that they're going for, their specific blend of realism and the anime style. The feet are fully modeled in this file that I have, and the gradients on these things are amazing. They also do a little detailing here on the soles, and some nice light colored polish it looks like. Very smooth, doesn't look jarring at all. Just some nice clean looking feet. Here's some other examples of feet in this game, because you don't always get to see Bubu's feet. Looks really nice with the shader on and when they're posing. The hands might even be more well done, and I really like how they handled their fingernails. It looks really good, and even some slight detailing on the knuckles, the knuckle wrinkles. And mesh-wise, they're a little more realistically proportioned than the average, and they don't shy away from using multiple loops for their joints. And you can even see the slight knuckle details jutting out of the fingers. Now I'm actually kind of sad because I didn't get to reference these during the hands video, but they are really good. And that little bit of extra budget on the joints makes them hold up well, especially in game, no matter what pose the fingers are doing. They look natural. Take a look at the shoulder blade as well. We got some nice texturing, but more importantly, they got this absolute cinema 3:1 going on here. And this all quads merge down is really good for rerouting the edge flow so that it bends more naturally with the shoulder blades. There's some nice tricks going on in her hair. Look at how the front bangs have an outline, but the rest of the hair doesn't, because the front bangs are a flat surface, so they can't use the inverted hull method. Therefore, they got a texture in the outlines. But the rest of the strands are fully 3D, so they can use inverted hull or similar techniques. The bangs are also duplicated and offset to create a shadow effect onto the face. Here's the shadow mesh right here. Here's how it looks in game. And I really liked how they tackled this party in the back they got going on here. We got the zigzag parting for these twin tails, and not only are they textured in, but the mesh is cut exactly where where the parting occurs. They opted for these radial meshes on both sides to gather up into these twin tails. Twin tails are actually separate. That's fine because they're kind of like rooted in that area, right? Those two parts are never going to move away from each other. And it nicely transitions into these back strands where we got these texture shadows to create that division. And they've got some really nice layering back here. The breasts are using radial outers to squared centers, pretty common. And they've got that nice teardrop shape. Here they've already got the effect of gravity, right? So you wouldn't double up on that when you're doing the rig. The other option you might see is this starts higher and perkier, and then the rigging will compensate for that by simulating that extra gravity, and in the game it's the same result. It'll still be somewhat the same shape. Here's an unrelated cooking clip. And by the way, the game itself has been quite a good time from my experience. They actually do a lot of things right that I sometimes wonder why these are not implemented in every gacha game. Like, for example, they have 100% rates on new SSR characters, so you won't ever have to fear bricking your account off of a lost 50-50. And on top of that, every version gives away a free SSR. Like straight up, it's really free to play friendly and even just general player friendly. And what I mean by that is you actually can relax while playing the game instead of getting stressed, which I know, right? That's a crazy concept in 2025 where you can actually play games to relax. And Snowbreak accomplishes that by not pushing constant FOMO on you and not making the daily grind feel like an obligation. And for those that play, they don't know what I mean. Like dailies, they can be completed in literally under a minute. They got like auto clear, they got dupe fragment farming, so you never have to pull dupes. You can literally just farm them if you have the character. Basically, it just doesn't demand too much of your time, and there's no pressure to play for hours on end. Something you might actually appreciate if you're like me and, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in your life and you don't have as much time to game anymore. Like these days, I'm trying to spend more time 3D modeling. So any games that respect my time like this, huge green flag. If that sounds good, there's no better time to hop on than now if you haven't already, because on top of all that, new players can get up to 110 free draws and a free SSR when you log in on January 1st in the new year. It's available on iOS, Android, PC, and Steam. Or you can scan this QR code. Anyway, Snowbreak is kind of like a goldmine of anime 3D modeling, which I'm glad I stumbled upon because there is a lot to be learned from their modeling. Every time I study a different game's models, feels like I learned something new, whether it's new techniques, different preferences and styles that different artists use. And I'll definitely be looking more into Snowbreak because, again, of the sheer variety and like different aesthetics that they venture into. And the good news for us is that every time a new outfit or skin is released, their MMD models are also released on the official official incentive pages, which we have been using to get our hands on some of these models. And as I mentioned, how they have a good range of faces and archetypes which carry distinct vibes, something that I'll also probably explore more in the future, and if I do, I'll be sure to post here. So if you got any Snowbreak enjoyers in the chat, feel free to leave a comment on which characters, outfits, or model aspects from Snowbreak you personally enjoy, or want me to analyze more in the future. And well, that's it for today. As always, thank you for watching. You are truly the GOAT if you made it this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.